Jaguars wide receiver coach Chris Jackson. Coach, I think at this point through camp, you kind of gotten to see some of the guys on the field in pads, even a little bit of game action for some of the young guys. I think, do you know who those veteran guys are? I mean, I think Marvin Jones, kind of the OG of the group, Christian Kirk, just really a smooth wide receiver, and Zay Jones, kind of that quarterback-friendly guy. Does that kind of describe those top three guys pretty well?
Man, do you do your research? That's about it. No, to your point, man, there's no doubt. When I first came here, I mean, one of my first phone calls was to Marvin Jones, just letting him know, like, you're the commish of this room, you know. Much respect for him and the years that he's put in and his production. So just let him know this is going to be your room, you know, and we left the veteran at that. So, you know, he likes that. He embraces that role, and he likes to chime in and give some advice to some of the younger guys. So he's awesome to have there. Like you said, Christian Kirk comes in, high IQ, real stickler for every little detail of the game, very smart. And then Zay adds another very high IQ guy, you know, long strides, smooth, covers grounds, you know, can run intermediate routes. And it's just cool to have that group because they're all high IQ guys. They're smart, and they love just football, and they like being around one another.
When you see guys like Zay Jones and Christian Kirk, neither one of them have had a 1,000-yard season in their career. Do you kind of watch them at times during practice and go, all right, we might be onto something. They're going to set some pretty nice marks this year, maybe?
I think so. Like, I've talked to them where their goals are, and they both have, you know, lofty goals, as they should. But, you know, speaking about those two in regards to Zay and C. Kirk, is they're both coming from circumstances where they were not primary guys. You know, Zay did not start in the beginning of the season, and neither did C. Kirk, you know, in Arizona. So for them to have roles here where they know that they're going to be have their imprint on this offense, they're excited, and they have goals, and I like the fact that they do have lofty goals.
All right, after those three, there's a lot of competition going on at wide receiver. Laviska Shenault kind of been here. He's a different kind of wide receiver. I mean, if you lined up all your guys, he looks completely different bodies type than everybody else. Even when he's out on the field, almost looks a little bit more like a running back at times than a wide receiver.
Yeah, he has a unique skill set, a unique body, unbelievable ability to just put the ball in his hands and let him do what he does best. So, you know, as a coaching staff, we have to be creative in regards to, you know, how we use him, how he fits in with this system. And it's cool because none of them have the same skill set, you know, and you could throw Jamal Agnew in there, you know, and it's like everyone is different. They all have a unique skill set, so it's us putting them in position to be successful.
How exciting has it been to finally get Jamal Agnew on the field, running through some drills with you guys? He's been working back from that injury, but to finally kind of have hands on him and see what he can do.
It's awesome just to have him back. You know, he's exciting, number one. He's another guy that just brings a lot of talent. He brings a lot of experience here. You know, he's been around on the defensive side of the ball, special team side of the ball, gadgety, you know, and he's been telling me the whole time, I'm not just a gadget guy, you know, I can run routes, and it's cool to see him out there because he is not just a one-trick pony. You know, there's a lot that he has in his repertoire, and, you know, it's good to have him out there healthy.
How about another young guy, Tim Jones? He got here last year, spent some time around the team on the practice squad, but now kind of finally getting his chance to show what he can do during training camp. What have you thought about Tim Jones so far through camp?
Tim's done everything that's been asked of him. You know, when you know that you have a possibility of making this roster, you know, and especially being active on this roster, that role, whoever that might be and whoever that falls in, is a unique role because you have to know every position. So if somebody was to go down, you could play Z, you could play the slot, you could play X. So what's asked of him is you got to know it all, you know, and wherever you're needed, you have to fit in. And I put Jeff Cotton in that category as well because they both been doing that same job, fitting in where they're needed and just busting their butt on both sides of the ball.
How about either one of the undrafted guys, Kevin Austin, Lawan Winningham, Willie Johnson? What have you seen from those young guys as they kind of try and battle their way to see if they can be in that conversation for a roster spot as well?
You see a lot of potential in all those guys, but it's you see the hard days, the mental days they get challenged, you know, where certain details are kind of left out of particular routes and formations and stuff like that. But it's a lot of learning, you know, and that's expected. You know, that's why, you know, you see Zay coaching up one of the other guys like Ryan. You see Marv, you know, he's got Lawan's ear, you know, but that's the great thing about this room. They don't necessarily always get coached by me. They're sitting right next to these veterans in film, so they're getting a lot of advice. And the biggest thing is just trying to slow the game down for them. You know, it's just not good enough, hey, I got this and I got a post route. No. What coverage, how are you running your post route? What is your split? How can you run it differently? So these are the nuances that they're learning, and it only comes by being out here and sometimes making mistakes to learn it.
Do you get a little bit excited to finally see some of these guys, Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, Marvin Jones, these starters on the field Friday night?
I do. I'm super excited. You know, it's definitely a different game when you got guys out there that the game is already slow for them. They just want to go in there and and get a couple catches and get back into the swing of things, and maybe get tackled. So I'm excited for them because it's the first time as a unit you can see kind of who we're putting it out, how we want to use people, and I'm excited to get them all together.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.